The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis states that a recession is a marked slippage in economic activity. This slippage has been historically understood as 2 quarters of negative gross domestic product. Gross domestic product referring to the products or services produced within a country in a given period of time. The reality is that recessions are not something to be feared or even evaded, but rather embraced as part of a healthy economic cycle. A healthy economy is like a healthy set of lungs that requires both expansion and contraction to function. Recessions only segue into calamity for the individuals who build lifestyles or businesses around the concept of continual expansion, which segues perfectly into who does a recession impact the most severely. Simplified, recessions most severely impact those whose primary income is from products or services that fall under the category of discretionary spending. And discretionary spending is simply a fancy way of referring to things that people can live their daily life without. An important thing to keep in mind is that recessions do not create problems, they reveal problems. The third question is, when will the next recession happen? The realistic answer is probably soon. TheBalanceMoney.com tells us that there have been 11 recessions since 1948, averaging to about 1 recession every 6 years. However, the good times between these periods of economic recession have varied greatly. One thing that can be said with certainty is that there will likely be one more recession before your life is out. And if you are under 30, you'll probably see anywhere from 5 to 8 recessions before you die. All right, so with all of this information, how do we prepare for the next recession? And I can only sit here and give you what I'm doing on both a personal and business level, and welcome anyone in the comments to share their wisdom as well. But number one, on a personal level, I'm making sure, quite simply, that my income outpaces my expenses by a minimum of 10 to 15%. That 10 to 15% is being squirreled away in case of an upset in my income. I have a buffer, I have a shield. Now, this is not good for the economy because it does mean that I have to cut out some discretionary spending, but it's good for me personally. Number two, on a business level, I'm making sure that I have 3 to 6 months worth of operating expenses under my business at all times. The concept of stashing away capital for economic upset is one that I've been practicing for about 9 years. It has saved the companies I co-own from succumbing to seasons of panic-driven decisions and or completely folding under seasons of prolonged downturn. Number 3 is something I'm going to encourage you towards based on personal experience, and that is developing a side hustle that falls under the category of a durable trade. To do so, yes, I do recommend picking up this book, Durable Trades, available at shopshepherdess.com. This book outlines 63 of the most historically durable trades. But use your weekends, use your free time, use whatever you can to build into a side business. And I simply say this because in 2008, 2009, I did exactly that. As a student, I was 14 and I began building into a side business while I was still in school during one of the worst recessions in recent history. By the time I graduated high school, that had moved from a side hustle to a full-time income for me, plus several other people. It's exactly the same premise that I moved into farming with in 2020. I became a sheep farmer under this premise of building a durable side hustle into my already established portfolio of income. I had no experience in agriculture, but I saw the value in agriculture and the historic durability of actually investing in this type of work. So a time period that can really cause a lot of anxiety for some can be a huge opportunity for you. And if you guys want the full story on how and why I started farming as a side hustle, please tap here.